What up, world? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Cosign Conversations podcast. Today we have a very special episode. I'm extremely proud of this episode because I've known this young man for a long time. This episode is long overdue, but everything is a divine timing. So as you can see, we're not at the studio. We are here in South Dallas.
Sunny South Dallas,
at Vista Bank, right? This is the first interview you done here?
Actually, it is. Yeah.
Look
and it's Cosign, yeah. Let's go.
Look at Cosign. But without further ado, we have my guy, Lubbock Smith. Lubbock is an entrepreneur, real estate developer. He's also the vice president at
Senior VP, senior vice president.
Don't forget the senior.
Yeah.
Senior vice president of Vista Bank. How you doing today, my guy?
Doing great. Good seeing my G.
Man, first and foremost, congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it, brother.
This is amazing. Lubbock gave us a tour. What you guys are doing here, amazing for the community. But I kind of want to start off with this, right? When I met you, I kind of feel like, I don't want to say it was out the blue, but it was like your name was out there.
Yeah.
But within the past 2 or 3 years, it's like, you're that guy. Like, if you need anything, like, oh, holla at Lubbock, or do you know Lubbock? And it's crazy because I'll know the same people be like, I got to connect you with Lubbock. I'm like, bro, we already connected.
Right.
So I kind of want to start off with not only the power, right, but the art of networking and building relationships, because before we even get into business, man, it's just something to have as a person to be able to maneuver in a city like this, right? So kind of talk to us about like how you approached building relationships and the art of networking in this short time span. I feel like it's been.
First, I want to give you your flowers, bro.
Thanks.
Because the moment I met you, I just knew you were a very genuine, authentic person. Brittany Hunter, who's the CEO of Mogul Millennial, was like, hey, you got to meet my guy, KG. Yeah. He's an amazing guy. He's going to do very big things. He already is, but he's a person that you should definitely connect with. And since day one, you've been a real one. So definitely appreciate it. But for me, it's all about seeking to serve and add value to people. Okay. I think a lot of people are transactional, trying to figure out what can you do for me, give me. Right. I'm like the polar opposite. I'm more so, how can I serve you and add value to you?
Right.
And that actually was some scriptures that the Lord gave me when I first even got into banking, because I've only been in it for 2 years, which is even crazy to say, right? And I was like, God, how am I going to be successful given that I have this opportunity to not only impact myself and my family, but others in this community, in this city? And he said, the 3 scriptures were, love the Lord your God with all of your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Okay. He said, seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. And then the last one was, the greatest among you will be a servant to all. Okay. He said, you want to be successful, you want to be the greatest, seek to serve and add value. When you do that, it creates reciprocity. When you do that, you're seeking the kingdom first by serving others, because other people are, a part of the kingdom. Right. Then, when you love on people and add value to them, you're really doing it for yourself too as well. So it's a mutually beneficial win-win relationship that cultivates greater things you could have done by yourself. So that's like my whole, I would say, kind of mantra and strategy and approach to doing these things. And I think God has allowed it to cultivate fruitful relationships and opportunities that allow me to even get to where I am today.
Got you, man. And I know a lot of people ask you this, but I have to ask you this on camera. With all that being said, there's still a how component, right? Because you're a father, you're a husband, you have, friends, you work full time, but you still manage to support and pour into others. Like, I really want to know how you balance this all, man. There
is no balance.
True.
I think the biggest mistake that people often make is, how do you balance it? There is no balance. I think there's a such thing as integration. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. And if you are crazy like me, you could try to build a plane and fly at the same time. Because you're trying to go far, you're trying to make great things happen. So for me, it's being able to understand, okay, I have, first and foremost, a family to provide, to take care of, my wife and my daughter. But there are meaningful relationships, like with my best friend, Hash and Tar, different folks I have good relationships with. And I have a job here to serve. Here in the community in South Dallas, I have a community to uphold and serve. How do you do all those things? You just integrate it. So my wife just hit me up a few minutes ago. She was like, I'm gonna stop by and come see you. Okay. I'm big in terms of being able to support and invest in others, so that way we can all have greater opportunities together. So I like to do business with my friends. And so I think when people stop trying to separate them and thinking like, how can I set aside time for friends? Like, shoot, make them your clients. So that way you're doing business personal. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just always trying to figure out, how can you get more or less? We only get 24 hours in a day.
Right.
8 of it, I mean, if you're like me, 6 of it, it's gonna be spent sleeping, right?
Right.
How you budget your time. And so I wanna make sure that every single second, every minute, every hour spent being able to make the absolute most and maximize, because time is short, you don't get enough of it. And time is money. And so if I'm looking to make a profit, I need to be living my purpose and helping other people do the same thing, so.
That's a great answer, because when I look back in my early career, the reason why I believe it took me longer to get where I'm at today is because I did try to separate everything, right?
Yep.
The relationship I was in, I was like, let me separate, my relationship from work, friends from work, because I wanted to actually have a work-life balance, they say. And it never happened, and it caused friction at home because you're too busy focused on that, because there's no such thing as balance. So now moving forward, much mature now, I try to like integrate everything. Like a lot of my friends are like work with me, or they're my colleagues, or we do business somehow. So it's like, it's easier because they understand, they're a part of it. And when I'm dating somebody, I let them know what I'm doing. They need to be a part of it as well. So that's great advice, man. But before we get into like the nitty gritty stuff, where we're at today, you said something, only 2 years in banking, right?
Yeah.
What was your first position?
I actually got to go way back.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think that I was like recruited, or they were looking for someone to just hire and help them do what they're trying to do in the community.
Right.
It actually didn't start out like that. It started out with me meeting the CEO, December 2020. This was a little bit after I had lost my job during COVID, after being in Division I athletics at Old Dominion University. And so COVID hits, I lose my job as director of student athlete development and leadership programs out at ODU in Norfolk, Virginia. And there was literally no jobs open in athletics because nobody playing sports. Right. You really can't work, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got hit with a $3.5 million budget cut. I was a part of it. And so I interviewed with Oklahoma football to be their director of player development for football, and ended up not falling through. I became a finalist, but they got hit with a budget freeze too. Oh, wow. So I'm like, how the heck am I gonna make this happen? And so my mom and my sister were like, just come down to Dallas, just come visit your family. You getting paid severance, you might as well just come chill out. So I was trying to get opportunities with like TCU, SMU, UNT, nothing is happening. Right. My sister was like, shoot, just work in my school. I'm like, what kind of jobs y'all got? I'm thinking it's gonna be like assistant principal or something. She said, nah, it's a substitute job. I was like, bro, you gotta be kidding me.
So really start from the bottom.
No, like for real, start from the bottom. And so I prayed and fasted for a week. The Lord told me this was exactly what he wanted me to do. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. But he showed me a vision when I was 9 years old. My dad went to prison, and my Little League football coach stepped in, found us after we had moved, looked for us for 2 weeks, was like, son, you can't quit playing this sport. God is gonna take you very far through it. That ended up being a full ride to play football at the University of Kansas, did great, NFL prospect, 4-year starter safety, things didn't work out, but I got 2 degrees and tons of career experience. And then I appreciate it. And then God showed all of that, and him pouring and mentoring me, becoming my godfather, he flipped the vision and showed me doing the same thing he had done for me for a bunch of youth, and just but for the community. And the Lord was like, this ain't about you, this is about what I'm gonna do through you. If you be obedient to what I'm calling you to, I'm gonna bless you beyond what you can imagine. I'm like, all right, bet, I'm sold, I'm gonna do it. But if I do it, I need residual income because $30K a year ain't gonna get it. Moving into my mom's house with my wife and my daughter, like that ain't popping, right? And so he gave me an idea to create my own fitness and consulting business. And so I do that, and my sister was like, in 2 to 3 weeks, you're gonna get promoted. I was like, 2 to 3 weeks is crazy. I've never heard somebody get promoted in 2 to 3 months. She said, watch, 2 to 3 weeks go by, Dallas IZ headquarters hit me up for a position. I killed an interview on a Friday, supposed to get a call on a Monday. Got a call on Monday from the principal of the school I was subbing at Kip Truth Academy. She goes, I heard you killed your interview with Dallas IZ, so I want to make it competitive. I'm going to promote you to 3rd grade lead math teacher, double your salary or match it if it ain't high enough. Wow. And give you different, perks and bonuses and stuff like that. I was like, at this time, this is the highest I've been paid my whole life. Oh, this is crazy. And then fitness business takes off, started doing some things with tons of clients. I'm gonna say maybe 40 plus. Oh, wow. And then Tarek Black, who plays in the NBA and overseas, ends up moving here to Dallas. And we got caught up, my wife and his wife are best friends, and we were talking about real estate investment, just catching up. God gives me a vision to connect him with Jeremiah Hatch, who I've been working with since, middle school, high school,
Right.
same college playing football together, same frat, roommates, like everything.
Yeah.
And he's an industrial commercial real estate manager at CBRE. The Lord said, connect them, they're gonna do great things in real estate. So I do that. The same day that they meet, bring me in as co-founder and partner, and now I'm board director of it as well.
Oh, wow.
And we do residential and commercial.
Oh.
And then to go back to how I started this out for December 2020, because this is all momentum, right? God tells me to go to this restaurant called Lucky's. Okay. I'm like, where the heck is Lucky's?
Yeah.
It's about 20, 30 minutes away from Oak Cliff by Carter. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go 20, 30 minutes for spicy chicken. When I can go to Chick-fil-A, order the spicy deluxe, you know what I'm saying? Same combo, same routine, and it's 3 minutes from the crib, and I can go home, eat, take a nap. The Lord was like, if you don't go, you're gonna miss out on something. So I go, I sit down, I'm talking to Will Baggett, my boy Will, over the phone about self-care and self-awareness, because I have to eat by myself. Yeah. And he was like, bro, you have to eat by yourself? I'm like, yeah, I gotta take care of myself. Sitting across is this short white dude with a hat on, with a fitted, just posted up staring at me. Yeah. I thought he was on some weird stuff. I'm like, why are you staring at me? Yeah. And then we get done with the phone call, and I bow my head up here with my food, and I look up, he's still staring. I'm like, bro, what this dude on? Yeah. And he goes, everything you said on that phone call was impressive, but what was more impressive was that you took out time to pray for your food. That lets me know you're a man of faith. You mind if I join you? I'm like, yeah, pull up. He said, tell me about yourself. Told him about my background, and then when I told him about football, he was like, you play football at KU? I was like, yeah. He said, how good were you? I said, 4 years starter at safety with 3 different head coaches. He said, man, I'm on the board of regents for Texas Tech. He said, Cliff Kingsbury is one of my clients, who was the head football coach for the Arizona Cardinals. I think the offensive lineman coach for Green Bay, and then he mentioned Lincoln Riley as his client. Lincoln used to be the head football coach for OU, so I'm like, bet. Okay. This is why God told me to come here, because I'm a finalist. Right. And so I told him I was a finalist, and I was waiting for a call back. 5 minutes goes by, he showed me his phone. It's a text he sent Lincoln that says, hey Lincoln, I just met one of the most remarkable young men I've met in 5 minutes. His name is Lubbock Smith, you need to hire him. I'm like, oh snap, this it. This is what got him to come here. The Lord was like, nah, keep talking to him. Okay. So we keep talking. The Lord gives me a word for him. I pray over him. And we get done praying. He said, everything you said in that prayer was spot on. But what I feel like the Lord is saying, that I'm called to pour and invest in you, because you're called to pour and invest in others. He said, we're gonna be friends for the rest of our lives. What you need to know is I'm a CEO of a bank. Wow. So my name is John Steinmetz. I'm the CEO of Vista Bank. I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah. So fast forward, so that way I can wrap up the long story, but it's gonna make sense what I'm saying. Great story, though. And so I get a call from the CMO. She says that John just told me that are we good on sound? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. John told me that you're a world changer and that you teach third grade math. We got financial literacy coloring books. Feel like we can get started there. Okay. I was like, sure, we can do more than that. Yeah. And so we got on a call. We were supposed to talk for 15 minutes. We ended up talking for an hour and a half. He said, we got to bring you by the bank. So they bring me by the bank over in Highland Park. Okay. And it was like, we created this Dallas South Initiative Committee, and we're trying to help impact and transform the community, but in a real way. Okay. Since meeting you, we got a good feeling we can do some things. What are your thoughts? I was like, shoot, we can get involved with Fort Oak Cliff, with Carter High School, with the DEC network, you know what I mean? Just showing where we can have impact in the community. And it just started taking off. Okay. And this was 2021. And so it takes off, and they want to do more. I heard the Lord say they're going to sponsor a nonprofit. Okay. So I co-founded, Camp Exposure with Tyler Pammer and Jeremiah Hatch, and it takes off, bro, from jump. And so I told them, y'all want to sponsor my nonprofit? And it was like, yep, we want to be title sponsor, donate $20,000, provide sweat equity, and do corporate media coverage. And so because of my background in fundraising development and athletics, I was like, sure, I'm gonna go 10X this. I'm gonna go get more corporate partners. So I got Tom Thumb Albertsons, BioSteel, Main Event, Whataburger, SMU, TCU, the Dallas Cowboys, Hilton Hotels, and also got some help to create a partnership with Highland Park IZ. Okay, hold on, before you continue. You good. You already had these relationships, or you just built them knowing from that Some point? I had, some I didn't know. I just went after it. I'm like, you know me, if I want something, I just go get it. Okay, my bad, continue. No, you good. And so that happened, and we ended up on Channel 11, Channel 8, Channel 5, K104, 97.9B, it's just buzzing. Okay. And then the CEO and I had an interview with NBC5, and he FaceTimed me afterwards, was like, dude, I kill every interview that I do. You dominate me the entire time. He said, you're impressive. I want to make this permanent. I'm creating a position for you at the bank. That was the first position I had as director of community development and outreach. But keep in mind, I actually started the role by volunteering for the committee.
Serving.
And people were like, bro, like, I see you, you hanging with this guy, you doing stuff with the bank. Like, people that was close to me that knew me was like, bro, they paying you?
Yeah.
I was like, God never told me to get paid.
Dang. That's crazy, bro.
And so now, see where I'm sitting at, fast forward, being senior vice president, it's a whole different conversation now.
Bro, okay, so that was in 2 years, just by listening to God.
Yep.
I want to ask you this because one of my guys who's helping us behind the camera, man, we talk a lot about God and spiritual, and I ask him this. I'm gonna ask you this too. Like, okay, everybody is different, right? When God talks to you, like, how do you hear it? Like, how does He talk to you?
In multiple ways, bro, because he doesn't just speak in only one way. I think the strongest way that I have would be like a deep gut, like deeper than discernment. Like I can hear Him in my spirit talking to me, but it's not in like a loud, audible voice. It's like a very small, calm, still voice that literally is louder than everything else. Sometimes He speaks to me through confirmations, through other people, through signs and wonders, like in the craziest ways. But I think the deepest way that I'm always open and looking for is that deep inward, just in my spirit type of conversation that He has with me.
Now He brought you over to senior vice president.
Man, when I tell you this, bro, if I had to plan it, I wouldn't even be here with you.
Nah.
So it's definitely all the Lord. He gets all glory and praise and honor to even be here. But I know this is about me. It's more about being used as a vessel to help others walk in the purposes and plans and promises that God has for them. Man,
that's also an amazing segue, man, because I wrote it down, so I want to make sure I get this right. So Vista Bank is officially in South Dallas now.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is a monumental, it's also impactful, right? And for those who don't understand why, can you kind of explain to our audience why this is really such a big deal?
It's a big deal because the CEO, before I even met him, John Steinmetz, he already had a vision to really, he wanted to convert like an old Kmart or Walmart into like a financial resource center. To where students and youth from the community and community members can come and, learn about banking, financial literacy. They can get, taught generational wealth. And so he was always like, man, we need to teach people how to fish. And I actually got this from Tarek, because I used to tell that to Tarek all the time. I said, but they need access to capital. He said, they need access to a quality pond, bro. So when he said that, I was like, I'm stealing that. And so he said, it's yours, Tarek Black, who's the also co-founder and partner of mine for Built In.
I like
and so when my CEO said it again, we were in a meeting, I said, they also need access to a quality pond to fish from. He said, that's it. And so the momentum was created, once I got in, being director of community development, because I was debating if I was gonna take the job or not, because I was teaching third grade math that transitions to 8th grade algebra at Kiptruth Academy. They didn't have a lot of men, yet alone black men in the school, so I felt kind of guilty to leaving the kids hanging, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I was kind of walking in my purpose, but I felt like God wanted me to do something bigger. So I told John that, I was like, I'm grateful for the opportunity, don't get me wrong, but school starts in a week and I don't know how to commit and tell these kids I'm coming back in a principal. I said, but this is an opportunity that can help change me and my family's life. What can we do about that? He said, I commend you on that. He said, when you started your business, this is how you created fitness and consulting, right? Consulting, I didn't even understand, got somebody to do it, so I just did it. So when I told him that, I said, it's fitness and consulting. He said, perfect, I can hire you full-time as a consultant, pay you full-time from August to December, and then if it's a good fit for you and for us, we'll have you start full-time January 2022. So that's what I did. Didn't know what the heck I was doing at all, but I was just like, all right, God, how do I be successful? He said, take your upbringing from growing up in a single parent household, your dad not being around, being a young man in the house, having that entrepreneurship skill set, hustling, gift for gab, knowing how to talk with people, but also athletics, education, and now banking and real estate, combine it. He said, create an innovative way of banking because you have a non-traditional perspective. So did that, and then from day one, just volume and value. So Jalen Smith came and met with us. He was playing for the Cowboys. Peter Brodsky, Terrence Maiden. They offered us property in front of Redbird. And then partnerships with TCU, SMU, the Dallas Cowboys, and just, great, valuable clients for small business all the way up to large assets. And so with the Oak Cliff, potential opportunity on the table, and then met the guy that owned the property here in South Dallas and who offered us the property. My CEO was like, if we got a new bank, where would you want it? Oak Cliff or South Dallas? I was like, shoot, if we want to win right now, Oak Cliff.
Yeah.
If we want to change the future, South Dallas. So he and I just got to share our vision in terms of he really wanted to impact and transform communities from a financial standpoint, because that's the way that you actually fuel the future is through finances.
Facts.
And I'm like, shoot, you got to also provide them the education, the resources, the access. There's so much racial, systematic problems. Like, there's a lot we got to dig in and do. He was like, I feel like God is calling us to do this together.
Nah.
And so you have us along with James McGee and Darlisa Dills, who are going to be leading the South Dallas Fair Park Innovation Center, which is the entrepreneurship center, right?
Okay.
They have similar interests too as well. So we all came together with the Dallas Chamber of Commerce to form this bigger vision that we could have had individually. So this is something that been like low key in the works.
Yeah.
But I feel like God been working on this for a while and cooking it up.
That's dope. And the Innovation Center, that's open to everybody or just Vista Bank?
So you got to be a member.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily that you have to be a Vista Bank client. However, we would love for you to become a client, because having your banking relationship and knowing entrepreneurship go hand in hand. Right. We're actually deemed as the Entrepreneurs Bank.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of like our bread and butter. However, you need people who are actually experts at this, and they have an expertise. So Darlisa, founder of Foundations EDC, and she's the chief entrepreneurship strategist for this whole thing. And then James McGee, who is the CEO, founder of Southern Dallas Progress.
Okay.
They've been working with entrepreneurs and business owners from our community. So we thought, what better than to have that in-house, so that way you have wraparound services from the bank, this classroom we're sending, along with the Dallas Chamber of Commerce, so you can get even more resources and access. So that way you're putting people on a pathway towards yes. Yeah. Because we've been told no for so long. Man. Now we actually have an opportunity to have a hand up to get to the yes, but we got to take advantage of it.
And that one note can discourage you from, a lifetime of progress.
Yep.
That's why I feel like what you do specifically is important, because you make banking and financial literacy culturally relevant, right? When there's a lot of older, white men.
You good. You can keep it real. I get it. Yeah.
Bro, I'm not really trying to hear what you say. Our background's not the same. Yeah. You haven't been through what I've been through. You don't understand how it is to take care of your child, but then her mother to put you on child support, and now you have child support on your credit, and you're looking at me crazy, and I'm like, bro, it's not like my character is flawed. It's, things happen, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of times, bankers, we feel like bankers understand, but they do. We just don't have the conversation with them, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing when our culture is in debt. We ignore debt collectors. Have the conversation. Right? You can do so much just by having a conversation, asking questions. So I say that to give you your flowers, because you make it culturally relevant, and now there's opportunities for people who would never think they could get a business loan or a line of credit to actually start the process now. And instead of trying to wait until if you wait till you can save the money up yourself, bro, you're already losing. And you're using your own money, so you're losing twice. Right? So to have that cushion and having the support of the bank, but not only the bank, but them giving you education, bro, is huge. So when I've been seeing you consistently do it, for the past couple of years, now it's become kind of a trend. But you've been, on that path for a long time. You've been consistent. You've been pushing the force. I want to give you flowers about that.
Appreciate that, man.
You may not know, but you probably changed a lot of people's lives out here, man.
I hope so. My biggest thing is to at least change one person's life.
Oh, man.
I know it sounds corny and cliche, and we've heard this so many times with Tupac and J. Cole. You just want to spark the mind that will change the world. That's honestly how I live every single day. I got my man over here, Kevin Bradshaw, I believe is going to do some amazing things, because he's not just a banker, right?
Right, true.
He's a music artist, he does photography, he does it all. He's what I would consider a true entrepreneur. And so if there's anything I can do, not only with him, but anyone else that wants to take advantage and maximize an opportunity, so that way not only do they eat and make great things happen for them, but for everyone else, that's essentially what I want to do. And I'm grateful that not only for John, our CEO, but our board, everybody was on the same page. From the board to the C-suite, the entire Vista Bank team and family. I've never been a part, this is no cap, I'm being serious when I say this, never been a part of any company or team that really felt like family and did this thing like family. So
that's huge, man. I'm gonna give you a scenario to kind of plug this all together, right? So, and it's kind of advice to a new entrepreneur, right? Maybe 2 years in business, has no idea kind of what they're doing, right? Kind of walk them through your piece of advice, utilizing what you guys have built here, plus your expertise as an entrepreneur, of the steps they should take to be able to access capital and take their business to the next level.
That's a great question. I think they need to understand that There's 5 C's of credit.
Okay.
Because essentially when you come and work with a bank, you're looking to borrow, right? So you need to understand the 5 C's. The first one being credit. Second one is capacity.
Okay.
Third one is capital. Fourth one is condition. Last one is collateral.
Okay.
Character. Who are you?
True.
You know what I mean? Who are you when you're not in the room? What are people saying about you? What's your relationship with money? How you utilize your time? Are you respectful? Like, what's your integrity like?
Right.
So those are different things that people consider the first thing straight out the gate is what's your character? Okay. Or even a person I want to do business with and sit down and talk with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Second one is capacity. You've been getting in the gym, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing you like? You like bench or squat?
Oh, bench.
Let's say, I know you're real strong, so I'm gonna give you, let's say 135. We're just gonna put,
okay.
All right, let's say for instance, all right. Matter of fact, what's the highest you can do?
How many reps though?
Let's say 1. Get 1 strong, solid max. Where you maxing out at?
I could probably do like
225?
Like 245.
245? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's say you trying to get it right, get it tight for the summer, you know what I'm saying? Trying to get cut up, get slim.
I am.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm trying to get 315.
Right. Okay.
If I put 3 plates on there for that 315, can you do it right now?
Nah.
That's what people often run into when they start talking about funding for lending. They think, oh, I need that bag, I need that meal.
Right.
You can barely take on 1,000.
True.
You need to build up your muscle, your capacity to even take that on. And the way you do that is 1 step at a time.
Okay.
Be trusted with a little, so you can be trusted with more because you're taking on credit.
Okay.
And that money is yours, you're earning it. True. So build your way up to it so you can actually sustain it.
Okay.
So that's capacity. Third one is capital. It's in the middle. Why? Because it's the core. It keeps everything together.
Okay.
Okay. Third being a powerful number, the Trinity, right? Keeps everything together. If you ain't got capital, we ain't talking.
Right. True.
We're a cash flow lender. If you ain't cash flowing, we ain't lending.
Okay.
Right?
So let me ask you this: cash flow. I'm pretty sure they go hand in hand. What's important? More important, is it revenue or profit, or they both play hand in hand?
They both play hand in hand. It kind of depends on the market, what type of industry that you're in. So it differentiates. But I would definitely say we want to see how many years have you been consistent with that cash flow. Okay. But also we want to see, is that industry risky?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you may wake up tomorrow, industry tanks, you doing oil and gas, it's like, ooh,
yeah.
You know, it goes up and down, right? So it's so many different factors, but thankfully we got a full team to work with to make that happen. But fourth would be in condition. What condition are you in to take on debt?
Right.
Because a loan is debt.
It is.
People think like, oh, I'm getting credit. You're getting debt, right? You get it with P&L, principal and interest.
For sure.
So what is the condition of the loan? PPP came out, everybody like, oh, I'm gonna get this loan, I'm gonna, get this for my business. They ain't even got no business.
Got no business.
So you're gonna actually use the loan for the condition that you said you're gonna do it for, right? And the last one being collateral. Think of it like a relationship. Do you go in a relationship knowing like, if this don't work out, I'm gonna take everything you have? Some people do that.
Yeah.
We don't wanna do that. We don't wanna walk into this new relationship knowing that you agreed to something that you was gonna pay us back for the money we gave you,
right.
That the money collectively is from the community, and we got a responsibility to get that back.
For sure.
We don't wanna do that.
Okay.
So it's being able to structure all those different things together when meet with an individual to help to understand that you're coming in as a borrower, but we want you to leave as a partner.
We're dropping gems.
Partner with the bank.
Okay.
Find out what the value is, what we're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, deposits are great. Loans are assets for us. Sure. Deposits are liability. If everybody decides to move their money all at once, it's a liability.
For sure.
So you got to lend that money out, right? So that way it drives up the assets and the revenue for the bank. So that way we can lend out more, grow more deposits, potentially can sponsor more.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of like the I would say, just the basic level method approach to it. But essentially is helping people be able to be on a pathway towards generational wealth through basic financial literacy education, access to a quality pond, which is capital funding, but in a way that they can sustain it over time because it's a marathon. It ain't something you can just jump and get it right now. You got to build up the capacity through your character.
Definitely. How big does a relationship play with that, right? So for example, I'll just use my case, right? So, I'm in the media industry too. A lot of, let's say traditional lenders, they may be like media, we're not sure, or media, we don't really understand media communication like that yet. So they may be considered risky, right? So if I have like good revenue, good cash flow, how heavy does my relationship to where you understanding my business play into that?
Plays a huge thing. And the reason why I say this because I need to understand your business either just as much as you or even more.
To talk to the to
actually talk to the loan, to the underwriter, to the loan committee to actually advocate on your behalf. So I basically essentially become you for your business to the bank. And if I don't know those things, because you don't know those things.
Right, true.
How can I help you get the credit that you need in order to scale and sustain your business and create success maintainability? And so it's really understanding the industry, understanding if this is actually something you want to do for the next 10 years. Because let's say you got a 20-year amortization, right? And you like, tomorrow in 20 days, I wake up, I want to do this no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That loan ain't going nowhere, right? So I think those are different conversations that people don't often think about, they don't consider. But the more you have these conversations, you figure out this may not work, but what about this? What if we did a line of credit?
True.
What if we can get you some assets, some real estate? Position you that way. Let's get a brick and mortar where you actually own it free and clear.
Right.
Now we can start talking about this because now you got actually assets, which debt should always go towards assets.
Okay.
It shouldn't go towards just paying your salary. It shouldn't go towards getting cars. Yeah, you need to work that capital and make it work for all of us, right?
Right.
It helps the economy, it helps the bank, helps the economy, it helps everybody.
Nah, that's huge. Man, I got 2 more questions. I know you're
good.
Man.
You guys a lot of questions you want, bro.
And I got, put my own little plug in there. 2023 Community Leader of the Year. By Cosign Magazine. I don't know who they guys are, but shout out to Cosign.
Shout out to Cosign, for real.
And what's special about that one, man, is not only did, your peers, clients, like colleagues, nominate, vote for you to be basically like a man of the community, bro. Like, what does that mean to you? 'Cause, I mean, of course, you get a lot of awards, acknowledgement, achievements, but to do something that, you just want to like serve and provide value, don't even worry about cosign, but what does that mean to get acknowledged by your peers?
It means a lot, honestly, in the most humble way, because I admire everything that everybody do. Right. I feel like I look and see what you do to hustle and create something that was nothing before, and now it's everything, not only to the city and the state, but true. Globally, you moving, right? I see Gabrielle out there hustling and being a young entrepreneur, leaving corporate to get to where she is. We got a whole group chat full of hustlers and people that are ambitious, making great things happen. And I'm just watching and saying, like, how can I position myself to make things in life easier for them, right? And I think when you get these accolades, I worked hard, and it's, signifies and symbolizes that. Right. No, it's so much work that goes into this, but it's also the people that you surround yourself that inspire you to as well. So I feel like it's just as much as ours as it is mine and anything. And I remember in 2022 when I was nominated with Lady Jade, I was like, bro, how y'all gonna put me in a category with Jade? Yeah. I'm not finna win this, right? And she won, and people don't really understand, not only has she been, in the community doing this work, she been doing it from jump, right? And for me to even be in that category with her meant a lot, because she inspired me to do a lot of the work I was doing. Right. Now, I'll never forget when she got her award and she came down and I hugged her and I was like, can I get a photo? I said, you are more deserving of this, sis. I was like, for real, you've been doing this since the beginning. She said, bro, I appreciate it, but just know, next year it's you. So it's crazy just thinking of those things and keeping in mind that we're all iron, we're just iron sharpening iron. We're all just adding, greater elements to each other so that way we can all win together. So I think when you win awards like that, it just symbolizes the impact that other people are having on you to be able to show, like, this is what we've been able to accomplish to do together. And that ain't the end point. Like, we got to keep going.
Keep going. And that's a great segue because, of course, we co-sign you, man, and you always make it a point to put other people on and put them in the right rooms, man. But I have to put you on the spot, bro. I know you know a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, but I just need one. And you have to say a name.
Oh, yeah.
So who is somebody that you've seen grow, develop? I don't know if it's against policy, but I prefer if they're one of your clients.
Oh, yeah.
That you've seen, they followed the blueprint and they've actually grown and you really want to like co-sign them and give them their flowers on camera. Who would that be?
I would definitely say this person, I haven't known, I think maybe for like over a year now. And she became my client because my CEO, John, saw her on TV for the Conrad internship program that they have in UNC Dallas. Okay. She leads it, she was on TV talking about it. And my CEO said, you gotta find her. I looked her up, her name is Victoria Elliott.
Okay.
And so I'm like, this lady seemed pretty dope. So we meet, bro, tell me why. She had already had it written down and dated that she was supposed to reach out to John because God told her she needs to grow her money more because she got a lot of, anyway, she doing very well, given that she's a Geico agency owner, #1 agency in Dallas, #2 in the state of Texas, which is wild with a Black and Hispanic woman, right? And so just watching her hustle and grind and being able to lead this effort and possibly, being here in South Dallas one day to herself with her own brick and mortar. Those are different things that I really respect because it's not just running a business, it's being able to run an enterprise and build an enterprise like you're doing yourself. And I think when we do that, you're not only doing great for yourself, you're thinking about how and what I'm doing affecting other people.
Right.
And that's why I was glad when I had the opportunity. It was like, hey, you know anybody for the, co-sign woman of the year? I was like, Victoria. I said, absolutely. I was like, I got to co-sign her because I'm watching her hustle just within the, less than a year amount of time I've known her. And I feel like she exemplifies what an entrepreneur is supposed to be. So.
You know what I appreciate about that co-sign too, man, is you meet people who are extremely successful in their field, but they're so humble and appreciative, right? Like we get caught up in a lot of the social media world, the followers, the count. And for her, she doesn't have a lot of followers, bro, but she's doing it in real life.
Big. Yeah, she's doing it big.
In real life, man. And when we had like a conversation, bro, she was super grateful for the opportunity to be featured and to share her story. And it's like, man, people like you co-signing women, an entrepreneur like her is important because a lot of times they're so busy doing the work that nobody actually takes the time to be like, you should support this person or you should highlight this person. And, because they're just too busy doing the work. So that's amazing that you did that, bro. And of course, like I said, we co-sign you. Last thing before I get out of here, man, I'm a big quote person.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What is one quote that you live by?
5 ways in how you change your community.
Okay.
You want to live in your community, serve in your community. You want to live, work, serve.
Okay.
You want to worship there. You want to fellowship there.
Okay.
Because if you really want to see things change, you live there, you own that property, value goes up. You work there, create the income going up, create greater property value.
True.
Third, you serve in there, you get amongst the community, you engage with them. Fourth, you've been able to worship, being amongst the body of Christ, worship with people, you stay connected. And the last one, fellowshipping, you're exchanging ideas, you're sharpening each other so that way you see the greater impact in each other so that way we can all win together.
Man, that's huge.
That's more than like a whole quote.
No, but
right?
it's something you live by.
Yeah, but it's something I truly live by. If I had to give a real quote, I would say triple P. Live your purpose, make profit, fulfill God's promise over your life and others.
That's real. Man, we're here with my guy, Lubbock. I appreciate the time. Appreciate the
co-sign.
Please give everybody your Instagram, where they can find you at. If they want to become, Vista Bank clients, customers, let them know how to do that as well, bro.
For sure. You can find me at Lubbock Smith on Instagram, on LinkedIn, Lubbock D. Smith III, and also on Facebook, Lubbock D. Smith. Pretty easy to find.
Pretty easy to find, man. I know y'all see him on Instagram and LinkedIn going crazy with the promotional photos at Vista Bank. Those are his clients, so if you want to come by, holler at him, shoot him a DM, shoot him a message. Of course, he has to do his due diligence because everybody can't come here. To do a due diligence. He might invite you, but for those watching, I hope y'all found some value and knowledge and inspiration in watching this. I know I did. Just being a friend to this guy, man, makes me want to be a better man, father, and partner. So without that being said, please continue to live the co-sign life. We at co-sign Lubbock. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, y'all take it easy.